Today I'm going to be decluttering my wardrobe. It's something that I haven't done in a couple of years. I previously lived in a pretty cold climate. Now that I've lived here for a couple of years, I really want to go through my wardrobe and really cut down on the pieces that I no longer wear, especially now that I'm in a warmer climate. I've had a bit of a chance over the last 2 years to really figure out what I use and what I'm actually wearing and what I love to wear and what I feel fabulous in. During this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of my entire wardrobe top to bottom. My clothes only take up a really small space on one end of the wardrobe. As I don't have a lot of clothes, I'm quite minimalist in my clothing. However, I have watched way too many YouTube videos where they only show you one part of their wardrobe, and you can actually see in the corner of their camera view that they've actually pushed a lot of items to the side, and so I feel like it's not a true presentation of what they have in their life. So I want to be really transparent with you guys, really open, really honest, and so I'm showing you my entire wardrobe even though my clothing is at one side. So you're gonna know exactly what's going on in my world and in my bedroom. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started with the first door of our wardrobe. Our wardrobe has 3 doors. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment with really limited storage. We do not have a garage. So what you're seeing here is quite a lot of our storage in our apartment. But yeah, let's go. I'll show you exactly what's inside. Now this is behind the door that actually goes into our bedroom. So we don't really like using this end, so we put as little as possible on this side. So over here, this is it. We have an old suitcase. Now this suitcase we haven't used in quite a lot of time, so we're actually going to tidy it up and see if we can sell it. We've just hung on to it for a little while longer just to make sure that we didn't need it, and we certainly haven't used it in quite some time, so we're going to get rid of that one. Over here we have our winter jackets and coats. So as I said before, we did move from a cold climate and we didn't want to throw things out until we had really experienced a good couple of winters here to really work out what we're actually going to use and what we're going to need. So our method has been that we put all of our winter coats and jackets over this side. Anything that we do use will end up over the side with all of our clothes. And what's left here at the end of this winter, we will be donating or selling or using and repurposing for rags. Also in this side, we do have a suit for Dan. Now we were going to go for a ball for a work function, but unfortunately I resigned from that job, and a few days later was the ball, and so we didn't end up going. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to sell that suit because it has not been worn and it's still in the original packaging with tags and everything on it still, so we'll see how we go. We also have our bags in this drawer. So I've just got a beach bag, a small bag that I typically take if we go out for dinner or something like that, but even so, I'm really not using this bag very often, so that's something that I might declutter. I also have a small backpack which I tend to use for overnighters when I go up to Queensland to see my family. And then we have one more bag in here, and this has my wedding dress and Daniel's wedding outfit. We are yet to work out how we want to store that safely. So at the moment that's just sitting in that bag. So let's move down to the bottom. At the bottom of our wardrobe, we really don't have much exciting stuff happening. We have Dan's shoes, so he owns 5 pairs of shoes, and he also has 1 pair of work boots which he is currently using at work today. Then we have 2 bags here. So this white bag has a lot of decorations from our wedding. Yeah, just lots of bits and pieces that I still need to go through. We had a bit of a DIY wedding, a low budget wedding, and so we did a lot of things ourselves. So that's our decorations there, and I'm still deciding what I want to keep and make into something to celebrate our wedding and what I want to get rid of. Now, in this second bag, we have a lot of presents and gifts from our weddings, lots of cards and things like that. So it's just another thing that I'm still working through and haven't decided what I really want to keep. And the last thing on this side you'll see is our paper shredder. I put that in there because I don't have a better place for it at the moment, and it's something that I do use but not often enough to have out. So let's move on to our second door. So in the middle of our wardrobe, we don't have too much happening either. So up the top we have another suitcase. We also have a small overnight suitcase inside this one. So if we're going away for a few days, both Dan and I will fit everything that we need to take into the small suitcase that's inside this one. However, if we go away for about a week or so, we usually take the bigger one, and that fits both of our clothes, shoes, jackets, everything we need. So those two suitcases, even though they're pretty and pink, we share them and it caters for both of us. Up the top here, I have a couple of old handbags and shoes, so I'm going to go through those today and decide if they're something that I want to keep, donate, sell, or if they're in terrible condition and just need to go. Here we have Dan's shelf. He doesn't have much on there. He's a pretty simple guy. He's got sunnies, deo, some earphones. We've got our little coin box, just another way to save, guys. And then we move on to my shelf. My shelf has a bit more happening. I've just got some old perfumes that I'm using every last little bit of. You pay good money for them, so you may as well get every drop out of them. I have my jewellery box, just along with a couple of natural deodorants and lipstick. And then I have my makeup bag. I also have some headphones, lots of jewellery that I wear all the time. I'm a big fan of my necklaces, and I just realised that I'm bald and don't have one on right now. So yeah, just a few things that I use quite often. Now let's move down to the lower area. So in the lower area of the middle section of our wardrobe, we have these 4 built-in drawers. Now the top one has Daniel's underwear. Ooh. Sorry ladies, I'm not sharing that with you. Then we have a drawer with Dan's pants. So we have things like jeans that are just a bit too heavy for this little guy, so we put them in here. Then I have my underwear drawer, also not going to share that with you, and my bottom drawer. So this one's mine. This has things like swimmers, bikinis, a couple of exercise activewear outfits which I really don't use enough, so just some random bits and pieces in there. Okay, so let's make our way to the other door. So with our third door, this is where all of our clothes are. So you saw a little bit of Dan's clothes just here. This is pretty much everything he owns, and we have a few hanging up items over here. What you see here is my clothing. So up the top we have a box with a lot of our sentimental items. So we keep that, that's not going anywhere. You can, you can still keep things in minimalism that bring you joy and add value to your life. It's not about getting rid of absolutely everything you own. We have a few old diaries here. We love to look back at our really old diaries and see what was going on in our lives back then, and just really reflect on how far we've come and how much we've grown as individuals and as a couple. We also have some flowers up the top. These are $2 store flowers that I cut up and made our own floral arrangements for our wedding, for our DIY wedding. Dan and I are renting and we're saving up to buy a house, so once we buy our house, that is going to be arranged into something beautiful. I don't know what yet, but I love them too much to part with them. I also have a couple of photo albums, which I would really like to make digital at some point. That's a work in progress. We have, this bag here has a dress which was my bridesmaid dress for my older sister's wedding. I'm actually going to be palming that off to my younger sister. She's going to repurpose it and use it as her high school graduation dress, so I'm really excited to see her wear it. And then over in the back corner we have some old jackets, scarves, beanies, things like that from when we lived down south and it was a lot colder. Here we have Daniel's hanging clothes, so if I move that all across, that is it. He doesn't have much, a few button-up shirts and a few golf shirts because, let's face it, he loves his golf. And then we have my clothes, so this is it apart from a few things that are in the laundry and my work clothes. I just want to say something that both myself and Dan work. I do have a day job that I work full-time. I find that in a lot of YouTube channels we see that the couples are living in really big, expensive, beautiful houses, and unfortunately for a lot of us that is just not relatable and not reality. So when I do a daily routine, you'll see what I get up to every day, which includes going to work. So this with my channel is something that I just really love. It really means a lot to me, and I really hope that I can help and inspire people. So that's why I do it. So with this clothes, I also have my hanging clothes. So a lot of dresses for summer. As most of you know, I am Australian. We live in Australia. It's a typically warm, hot, humid climate. I keep saying client. I do love some colour. A lot of minimalists stick with neutral tones. Some of them have monochrome wardrobes, which is really awesome and it works for them. But for me, I need a bit of colour in my life. Just to zazz things up a little bit. A couple of cardigans that I wear all the time, especially this grey one. I live in it. I will wear this every morning just to take Dan to work. We do only have one car. Just a couple of jackets and a few dresses, another scarf back there, and then we'll make our way to the bottom. So in the bottom of my wardrobe, we really don't have a lot happening again. I have my yoga mat, which is pretty much just there for show at the moment. I really want to get back into yoga, but I just haven't gotten into the rhythm yet. I don't really have any good enough reasons that I haven't done it. I've just really got to, push myself into it and push myself out of my comfort zone. And yeah, if you know any good yoga classes in South Gold Coast, Northern Rivers areas, let me know. So at the moment I own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I own 9 pairs of shoes, and I already have an idea in my head of a couple that I'm going to get rid of today. So let's start the decluttering. Just with regards to buying new clothes, if you're struggling to work out how to bring new clothes in that you need, a really good rule of thumb that Dan and I have in our house is that if you're buying something new, it has to replace something. So for me recently, a couple of weeks ago, I bought these new Skechers. I needed some comfortable shoes that would keep my little tootsies warm during the winter. So I got these, and that's going to replace my old Vans that just are so uncomfortable now because they are so old. And they are also going to replace my cheap ass fillers that I bought. They are so uncomfortable. They're not the real thing. I don't like wearing them, so they are gone. So that leaves me with a pair of heels that I wear once in a blue moon, but I do still wear them. These little flats, I actually bought them a few years ago, and because Dan and I did a low budget DIY wedding, I actually wore these as my wedding shoes, and I wore them just today, just to go to Woolies to the shop. So, there's multiple purposes for everything. I also have a pair of boots for when we go out in the winter time. I have my vegan Birkenstocks. These beauties are so comfortable. They're not the prettiest looking things, but dang, they feel good on the feet. I also have my thongs or flip-flops, whatever you like to call them. I've had those for about 7 years and they're still going strong. I have my new Skechers, as I just mentioned, and my work shoes, just plain old black. So I'm pretty happy with that. There's nothing excess, and as you saw from the previous videos of the parts of the video with the wardrobe, I don't have any other shoes hiding anywhere. The only other pair of shoes that I do have is a pair of steel cap boots. These I wear camping and when I'm doing physical work. So when Dan and I did our van conversion, I wore my steel caps, and also when we go camping, I wear my steel cap boots as well. When you look at Marie Kondo's method, she likes to pull everything out and put it onto the bed. Because I already have such a minimal wardrobe and I can actually see everything, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to keep it simple and just work through section by section to decide if it's something that I want or if it's time to let go. And I'm 44 kilos, which I think is like 97 to 100 pounds. I don't know, you can Google it. So I have a really small frame, so I do really struggle to find clothes that fit and fit well. This maxi skirt was actually, I could wear it up here and it would still be touching the ground when it's supposed to be worn here. And I hung on to this for about 2 years before I got it taken up, so it was nice and short for my short little legs. And I love it. It's great for summer, it's great for going out, it's super comfy and just hella beautiful. Sentimental to me. I bought this for Dan and I's engagement party. We got engaged way back in 2014. So I've had this dress for a really long time. It's lived with me for our engagement party. We've been to weddings and I've worn it on multiple occasions to weddings. And when we lived in Melbourne in the city, we went to a lot of car shows, and so I dressed up and went all rockabilly. So I've had a lot of use out of this, but I haven't worn it now in quite some time, so thank you, dress. You've given me so much joy, but now it's time to go. Standing on a small coffee table right now. Don't do that. If you have a small ladder or something that's supposed to be stood on, stand on that instead, not a small coffee table. It's not safe. Has anyone ever heard of arm knitting? I knit this one all by myself using arm knitting or finger knitting. So you use your arms or your fingers to knit instead of knitting needles. And I thought it came out pretty darn good. This one's a bit more sentimental because I made it myself. I'm gonna see if I use this one throughout this winter, and if not, then it can move on. But I'm not ready to part with it yet. This jumper is as old as the hills. It was my sister's old jumper and then she hand-me-downed it to me, and I've worn the absolute crap out of it. And it's all stretched and just no good. It's a bit haggard. So it can move on too. This jumper, it's Jet Pilot. I've had this for over 10 years. Now, I have a photo with Dan at my uncle's 40th birthday. And the other day, my uncle turned 50 and I still have the same jumper. So I'm gonna keep this because when we go to celebrate my uncle's 50th, we're going to be reenacting that same photo. So once I've got that photo, this baby can go. I have this cute little beanie, but I just don't wear it, so it can go. Hopefully it keeps someone else's melon warm. I have these cute little crochet crop top things, but yeah, I just don't like showing my belly. I might be thin and petite, but I'm a conservative kind of gal. Yeah, they can both go. Oh, here is my beautiful wedding bouquet. I absolutely love it and it is so pretty, and yeah, it ain't going anywhere. Okay, this is a mess up here. Oh, and that's Dan's little buttonhole that was matching. It's so cute. We have this big thing, this big lump of 8 meters of beautiful fabric. We used this for our homemade archway for our wedding, our DIY. So I'll insert a picture somewhere here for you to see. We're actually going to be using this as a bit of a feature when we buy our house. We're going to be putting this up on the wall along with our flower arrangements and a blown up photo from our wedding. Oh no. So here we have the flower arrangements. So I'm going to try and keep those flat so that they stay in good condition and out of the way. As I said, we have some old photo albums here, so I'm going to keep those. I'm going to put those all up in one pile up the top here, and we're going to digitize these at some point in the next few weeks or maybe months. We'll see how we go. I'm going to have to get rid of this. So we're located in the Northern Rivers, and as some of you may have heard, the Northern Rivers have had the worst floods in recorded history in the last few months. So as all the news channels are saying, the rain has been completely unprecedented, and the mold, oh my god, the mold, trying to keep it out of the house has been a freaking nightmare. Everyone is trying to buy those little duvalakis that you put in the bottom of your wardrobe, and they're sold out everywhere. We can't get them. And now this beautiful little craft piece that I made for Dan for our anniversary is gross and ruined, so it's gonna have to go. But I made that for him for our 6 years. Oh, we'll have to take a photo of it and get rid of it. Thanks for joining me, beautiful people. I really hope you liked this. If there's anything else you wish to see in relation to decluttering wardrobes or other cupboards in the house, please let me know. We do plan to declutter our kitchen soon, so I might even film that for you. Have a great day.